Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another video here. So this is my review for episode 15 of season 11 of The Walking Dead. I'm going to do my review for this. Stay tuned for my trailer breakdown for the finale. That'll be coming out after this video. And I'll just say the part 2 finale looks insane. There's definitely going to be a death for sure. You just look at the trailer. It's for sure like it's going to happen, and a lot of action. And I guess I can't really say any more than that. So before we go any further, make sure to be aware that this video will contain spoilers for episode 15. And make sure to be a subscriber if you want more Walking Dead content like this. But let's actually get into the episode here. So episode 15 is, I'll say it's a slower episode. It's a good episode though. You know, do I prefer episode 15 over 14? I think I prefer some elements over some stuff that happened in 14. 14 was really exciting, you know, and how it ended certain storylines and stuff. And you know, that Negan and Herschel scene was so great. But the thing I like about 15 is there's a lot of stuff that I've been wanting to get for a while with the Commonwealth arc that we actually got, and a lot of that is with Mercer. This episode basically confirmed a lot of things. Like, it confirmed pretty much right away that Princess and Mercer are an item now, right? Like, they're a thing. And I mean, obviously we saw this coming. They've been kind of together a little bit over the last couple of episodes, but this one definitely, like, this cemented it. And I'm really happy that they're a thing. You know, like, it's something that happens in the comic, and so I was just sort of waiting for it to happen. And I like the fact that it actually does kind of make sense on the show. Like, it actually makes sense to happen. And I really think she's really good for him. You know, Mercer is somebody, like, he's a very complex character. He's a great character. I think this episode really showcased that. Mercer was struggling in this episode, you know, with just what's right and what's wrong. He had a very hard time just kind of deciding, like, should I be like this? Should I support the Commonwealth? Should I keep going in this way? Or should I go back to the way I've always sort of been, you know, or I guess the way I was raised, basically, right? Which is to stand up for what's right. And he's having a hard time. And the thing is, I haven't really been feeling the whole, you know, like, Mercer changing sides. Like obviously it goes there. But what I will say is, up until this episode, it kind of felt like Mercer was just slowly changing just because he did so in the comic. It didn't really feel like there was anything that would naturally, like, push him over the edge there. But his sister Max, I think, is actually, you know, I think that's why that I'm really glad they introduced this. Like, she seems to be that character just sort of in general. Once she found out about things, right? Like, once she found out from Kelly and Connie about that list, she was like, well, I can't stand for this. And she went to go talk to Mercer right away. And Mercer was like, well, like, what do you expect me to do? And Max is like, well, you got to do something. So I like that because she's pushing him. And after that you know, that speech, or that, not speech, but after the talk they had in that gym, which, by the way, was hilarious. Like, literally for a good, like, 2 or 3, 4 minutes even, we were watching Mercer just work out the entire time. I was just like, I don't think we've ever had a character just, like, work out on screen for, like, a few minutes. But Max really did, I think, you know, I really think that she, like, just what was happening there, she made him see a certain side. And I do think at the end, when he was talking with Princess there and opened up there a bit, I do think what we're going to see now, the next scene that we're basically going to see, is Mercer, you know, join our side. I think it depends on what's going to happen. Again, the episode 16 trailer looks like, you know, it showcased the battle happening at the Hilltop. I don't know if Mercer's going to be there, but rioting is definitely starting in 16. It's definitely going to be starting in 16. I think at that point, you know, he definitely joins. And so where do we go from there, right? But they definitely set it up here. And that's what I mean. Episode 15 was sort of a slower episode, but it you know, it did the things it needed to do. It sort of set the tone for where we're going to be going, right? Like, it really felt like it was the calm before the storm. And honestly, it kind of felt like the moments, you know, going back to the season 6 finale, like the moments before Rick actually met Negan, right? Before Negan's reveal, it was kind of calm a little bit beforehand. Even the episodes beforehand, like, there's just something off about those last couple of episodes going into season 6, episode 16. You know, like, you know, shit's about to get crazy. It's going to get very dark right away. But there's just, like, this calmness beforehand, right? Where things just kind of seem fine. People are talking. It's peaceful. That's what I got from this episode. And I mean, when you watch the trailer for 16, like, that just, I mean, it basically confirms it. Like, it's going to be a pretty crazy episode. And I do think there's going to be a very big death there. Now, obviously, the big story of the episode was Daryl and Lance, you know, like, just what happened at Riverbend, like the apartments. Lance wants his weapons back. And right away, like, immediately, he suspects Maggie. And I was actually wondering why he suspected Maggie. Turned out, I mean, a big part of it was probably because he found Herschel's hat. And he was just like, oh, that's Herschel's hat. I know Maggie had a son. Like, that's the thing about Lance. Like, that's the skill that he has. He notices things. He can read people so well. He knows when somebody's lying. And that's exactly what happened. He went straight there because he knew that those people were there. And he was like, I want my shit back, basically, right? And that's what's kind of interesting about the ending. And we'll talk about that once we get there. But the whole Leah thing there, you know, we'll get to that at the end here. But the whole thing basically leads up to the ending of episode 9, right? Where we got that scene where Daryl and Maggie are confronting each other. And, you know, it wasn't exactly how I thought it was. I really thought it was, you know, Daryl sort of knew what was going on. But no, Daryl, when he was talking with Maggie there, Daryl was serious. Daryl was like, you got to let us in. Like, you know, if you're going to keep saying no, a bunch of people are going to be killed. You need to let us in right now because it's going to be a bloodshed out here. And so Maggie lets them in. And then you have the Commonwealth just sort of raiding the Hilltop for a while. And it seems a little scary, but in the end, it turns out to be fine. There's actually a scene there where we actually saw Herschel, I believe, sitting in front of Glenn's grave, which, I'm pretty sure that's Glenn's grave. It might not be. Yeah, it was a little tiny scene, and it just kind of seemed like he just kind of hangs out there. So that was really cool. You guys know I've been waiting for a while to see that scene. I've just been wanting something like that. I just want to know that that there's an awareness there of the fact that his father's there. And like, I'm totally okay with this scene, even though it wasn't that emotional. He wasn't sitting there crying or asking questions. You know, to me, the fact that he just it was a random scene where he's sitting there, he's bored, just gets up and leaves. I like that more because it's like, it kind of shows that he's always there. It's just something he does when he's bored. He just goes there to go sit with his dad, right? Like, I like that. I also wanted to note one thing, and that is that, Daryl's armor doesn't fit. Like, he's wearing the Commonwealth armor, but it really does not fit him well. Like, I don't know if that was just sort of on purpose. It just shows that Daryl doesn't really care to put the armor on too much, or if it was just like they had an extra set of armor and it's not really fitted for Norman Reedus. I don't really know. I don't understand the point of that, but it just, maybe it was just sort of meant to be off like that because you would notice him out of all the troops, right? I don't know. Now, before we actually talk about the Leah scene, and I want to talk about that right away, I want to go through a bunch of things here, and I'll go through them really, really quick here. So first of all, there was a scene of Judith and RJ going to school. That was really nice because we need to see the kids a lot more, right? And we don't really see them a lot on the show right now because of what's going on. So just getting that really quick scene where you see them going to school and stuff, it's like, okay, so they're still kind of around. They're still doing things, right? They're living life. Ezekiel also has seemingly survived his illness. So he seems to be totally fine right now. So that's good. And, you know, it's kind of given him this second life in a sense, right? Where he just wants to save other people. And honestly, I will admit, I didn't know where this was going. I thought he was actually going to be a vet because it kind of made sense. Like he had, you know, he was, I think it was a zookeeper before the apocalypse or something like that. It was something like that. I know in the comic he was for sure. And so I thought they were doing something like that. But no, I think that's sort of the disguise here. What they're actually doing is they're saving people. They're doing surgeries on people behind closed doors, behind the Commonwealth's back. So I like that. I really like that. So they're actually saving people here. It seems a little scary because they're not doing it in a hospital where it's safer, but they're giving people a chance to actually live. And they're going to be able to get through that list of people, right? That, you know, that it was a long list. You know, Ezekiel wasn't going to make it until he got pushed up to the front of the list. So this is smart from Ezekiel. Obviously, he's going to feel guilty that he was pushed up to the front. And so doing this, I thought that was just really amazing. Ezekiel, you know, he's starting to get more of a story here, so I really like that. There was a lot of Carol and Ezekiel stuff here, and honestly, it does kind of feel like Carol and Ezekiel. It feels like they're going to be a thing soon again. Like, and I know they're split up, but like, I got the vibe in this episode that it's like, okay, so at some point they're probably going to end up together again. At least I would hope so, because they actually are really, really good together, and you really feel that in these scenes here. And yeah, Carol obviously in this episode is being very emotional because, I mean, it kind of felt like she was recapping the whole series when she was saying that. You know, she was just saying how like life is just kind of like, all these years have just flown by, and like, we're still here, and I'm just sitting here right now, you know, just throughout everything that the world's been through, all this stuff, the drama, everything. And we're just kind of sitting right here, you know, throughout everything that's happened to us. And I look at that, I'm like, yeah, it's so crazy. If you just think of The Walking Dead in general, throughout everything they've been through since season 1, you know, they're just sitting there and they're just fine. And they're like happy, you know, they're at the Commonwealth, and It's very peaceful. It's safe. So she was crying because I think a lot of that was sort of just building up in her. So I really liked that scene. Speaking of, I guess, people that are actually or could be together, these are people who are actually together now, and that is Eugene and Max. Eugene and Max are like actually together. So that's 3 relationships in here that are just like, Carol and Ezekiel might be, coming together again. And Mercer and Princess are definitely a couple. And now it seems like Eugene and Max are officially a couple here. And sort of just where they left with everything, it really feels like they're about to expose the Commonwealth. They're about to come across some really damaging things here. And what's funny about that is it's happening at the same time as Leah seemingly takes a job from Lance. And if you've watched the trailer, obviously her job is to go and basically kill Maggie and take over the Hilltop. So, oh man, like I really wanted Leah to be a good character. Now they're doing that with her. We'll see where this goes. I'm really scared that Leah's going to be the death. Honestly, I didn't want it. It's going to be, I don't even know if it'll be that emotional. It'll be shocking to see it no matter what. If Daryl's the one that kills Leah, definitely it will be shocking, but I don't know if I want that to be the big death because it's kind of underwhelming a little bit. So we'll see how it happens and sort of what happens in the episode overall. But yeah, you know what? 15, I really liked episode 15. I kind of preferred 14 a little bit more, but I can see, 15, what happened here was necessary for episode 16 to make that a really big one. And I'm really excited to talk about the trailer, so I'll definitely get on that. So obviously, post all your thoughts down below for episode 15. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.